not even sure if that's tire really, because he gets in the corner, and before the tire would break loose, I see that smoke coming out of there. So he might have an oil leak.
Yeah, very, very good.
Now Sedgwick's back and got his rhythm. He's a cool customer. He's a Terry Labonte kind of guy, and he's got his rhythm back. He's run a lot of races here in Winston West and in the Southwest Tour cars. Back to full speed, and now he's got a mirror full of a couple of trucks there.
Yeah, the one right behind him there, the truck that you just saw the front end of, that's Butch Miller. I had the chance to talk to Butch a little bit. I get a kick out of talking to him when he comes to a road course. He told the people at a Ford gathering this morning, he said, folks, he said, when you see me coming in here, he said, if you see a big smile on my face, he said, I'm having a great time. Change for battle for the lead.
Almost a lead change. You watch from Wally Dallenbach's truck as he had a clean shot at that turn 11 where he runs a different line than Ron Hornaday.
This racetrack is extremely hard to pass on, and you saw Wally go inside. Now that's fine, you can get up underneath a guy like that, but the outside guy gets more traction almost every time, and he'll out-drag race you down in turn 1, which is exactly what Ron just did there with Wally. But Wally's on the charge right now. We're going to watch his for a minute, because he's not going to give up with that one attempt.
Also, Dave Resendiz has climbed right up to the tailgate of Steve Portengay in the battle for 5th spot as well. This is for the lead.
Right now going through turn 5. This corner is very fast. You can't really tell from on TV, but it's quick. Here goes Wally now. This is where the car can lock up under braking. He looked to the inside, but he backed out, you know. If you get in there too deep and jump that back end, you just got a bunch of trouble.
You've run a lot against Wally in Trans Am and in IMSA. What's it like to run against him?
Well, Wally's a hard competitor, you know. If he's back there long enough, he won't mind his bumping you to let you know he's there. Actually, you just saw Hornaday get 2 wheels in the dirt right there. So he's trying real hard to keep Wally behind. Wally runs real hard. He's a real good road racer, no question about it, and trying to make a name for himself here in Winston Cup.
Well, he's smooth, too. That's the thing that impresses me about the way he gets around here.
And Hornaday is not. Hornaday just throws the truck around.
Yeah, he's a charger. But both styles work. It's like comparing Ricky Rudd to a Rusty Wallace.
Yes.
One smooth, the other just charges both around. Both styles work.
That's right.
A little defensive line right there from Hornaday. You see he's moved inside of Wally, not to give him that inside this time. Now Wally's going to cut underneath him here, try to get the drag race up the straightaway.
Looked like he had a better exit speed, but didn't have any room.
That's a pretty good engine that Hornaday's pulling in that 16s right there.
11 laps completed, Sears Point, California. Ron Hornaday is the leader. Wally Dallenbach in second. Mike Skinner in third. Here's a look at the top 10 as we go to break.
If you
12 laps on the board. You're watching TNN's live exclusive coverage of the SuperTruck Series by Craftsman, and Ron Hornaday has led from the pole in this Papa John's Pizza Chevrolet. And Dorsey, he is slinging the dirt as he goes around here.
And look at this. He's opened up quite a big lead on Wally Dallenbach. Last time we saw, Wally was right on top of him, but now there's a pretty good distance between those two.
Got a little breather room. Wally's truck looks to me like Dorsey is sliding around a little more. We've got a caution flag coming out.
Looks like a full course caution. Lights coming on the pace car as they come down through the S's down to 10 and head for turn 11. Now last night Hornaday said to crew chief Doug Rickert right here, turn 11, he said he wanted to change second gear in the truck. Now with a Jericho transmission you can change every gear individually, because right here coming out of turn 11 he felt he didn't have enough gear to pull out and keep ahead of people. So obviously that change has been for the better, because he's been able to pull Dallenbach coming out of that corner with a lower second gear.
Really smart decision, because that is a key corner, because a long straightaway headed up through turn 1 and turn 2. If you can't get off that corner well, a guy can position himself and he will pass you every time. And this racetrack continually gets slipperier as the race goes on. So you can't get the same bite off of the thing you could have in qualifying.
You know, and I'm wondering, Dorsey, also if this caution flag here won't give Dallenbach a little bit of time to cool those tires down. He was pushing really hard trying to keep up with Hornaday. I got to feel like this is a big break for him, as well as the rest of the field to catch up. But I think Wally might have something for him now to cool his tires down.
Well, that's a real good point, Glenn. There's no question. He was sliding that truck around there at the end, and the tires were hot. And now he can just drive that thing, slow him down, you know, get him back underneath him. And of course, everybody who had any gain on the racetrack loses that. So the race is back on.
Debris on the racetrack in the vicinity of the scoring stand is the reason we're under caution. So we'll take a break from Sears Point, California, and we'll be right back.
You've got 700 horsepower trucks. You've got Craftsman tools. got heart-pounding, bone-rattling, eardrum-busting speed. What else do you need for a perfect Sunday afternoon? The all-new NASCAR SuperTruck Series, brought to you by Craftsman. The only tools tough enough for super trucks.
Leads them around here. You're riding with second place Wally Dallenbach in Kurt Rohrig's truck as they take the restart green. The debris is cleaned up. We are back to racing. Steve Portengate tried to put a bumper there to Dave Rezendes. Couldn't do it to take away that spot. Fifth place at stake as they wind their way up the hill toward turn 3.
Just before that caution, Mike, Portengate had given up fifth spot to Rezendes, and also Toby Butler in the 21 Ortho truck had really been gaining on both of them. So as we saw Portengate, we thought he was holding up Ruttman just a little bit. Seems like he's sliding backwards just a little bit through the field.
And Joe Ruttman, after that slide, is deep in the field after going off course and climbing back on. Riding with Mike Bliss, last week's winner at North Wilkesboro, former USAC Silver Crown champion. Now coming over to SuperTrucks to try his hand at NASCAR racing. I think that's Butch Miller he's behind as he rolls up toward turn 7.
Yeah, Butch has had a little engine problems this weekend. He's not as far up as he would like to have been, but he got me aside and he said, talk to me about this road racing. What do you do in this corner over here? And I said, don't go off it. Thought that's all I could tell.
That's pretty good advice.
He said, don't go off it, whatever you do.
And Butch wrote that down.
Down through the S's. Headed southward. Back toward the main grandstands here. Interesting combination of grandstands and hillside vistas here at Sears Point.
Bliss doing a pretty good job right now. You know, he told me at one point that he didn't really like road racing all that much.
It's like a lot of things. The more you do it, the easier it gets, the more you like it.
I tell you this, here's a pass, looking for a pass on the inside of
Mike Chase.
Mike Chase makes the move on Mike Bliss. Chevy against Ford. Here's a look at the back of the diehard number 1. And let's go to the pits. Here's Ralph. Let's check with Ralph.
Some are not. And Glenn Jarrett, the biggest thing we're finding out, the only reason for that is pretty much just driver choices seems to be the big key, whether you like it or you don't.
Well, Ralph, I think if it were my choice, I'd have overdrive, because the times that I was on the road course, I tore out most of the gear, so I need as many as I could possibly have.
This place is hard on a gearbox. It really is. You do a lot of shifting here. You know, it's hard on a driver, this racetrack, because there is no straightaway. If you look at this turn 7 up ahead of us here, it goes on the back straightaway, which we call the S's, so it's not straight. This front straightaway is not straight. So you're always busy shifting or braking.
Mike Chase there and Butch Miller.
You don't want to be bumping in those S's, I can tell you that.
Plus 2, because you use at least 3 of the gears, and some drivers here are using all 4. If you get second and third sorted out where those work real well, you don't want to change your rear end ratio to get a higher final drive or a lower final drive if you want to mess things up, so you can go to an overdrive 4th gear. And I think that's probably more the reason that they would run an overdrive in top gear here.
Well, it gives you more flexibility on your ratios too. You know, sometimes the second gear corner becomes the first.
One truck hard into the tire wall, coming out of turn 10 and headed.
He's out of here
for 11.
That truck went out of the course. Look at him stuck on the wall there.
Yes, indeed it did. That is turn 10. That's the fastest corner on the course.
Ray Daniels, rookie in the Truck Series, and the officials are quickly to his aid, and he is out of here.
Mike, that's right over going down to that fastest part that Dorsey talked about. We got a replay of it coming up.
He just got in way too hot. You see, now he's in the gravel, no way to stop that truck. It hits the tire wall, climbs it, gets into the fence, and almost into the parking lot on the back.
Big flip, big roll. Now, tire walls are a mixed blessing, and anybody who's road raced a lot has been into their share of them. As there sits Ray Daniels' truck. A tire wall will soften your impact and generally do less damage to the vehicle. But once you hit that tire wall and it gives, it kind of draws the truck into it. It's very hard, I found out the hard way, to hit a tire wall and escape from it.
And Ray Daniels is out of the truck, we're happy to report. You know, I don't want to say this for the folks back at home at World Sports Productions, but that's just right next to where I parked my rental car. I hope he didn't hit it because we declined all coverage.
Well, he looks like he's fine. He's got his helmet off.
Call 1-800-BODY-SHOP. We'll be right back to Sears Point, California. You got the keys to that car? We're under caution on Subway SuperTruck Saturday here at Sears Point, California. A big caution coming out of turn number 10. Ray Daniels in his fourth start in the series. That's finished 19th at Topeka. Has a decidedly short bed pickup after this ride into the tire wall and up and over the concrete. This is not a spectator area, folks. It's along an access road. Kimberly and Tiffany have just told me my rental car is also parked right there, Glenn. So
that's what's holding the truck up.
Yeah, that's probably what the truck is. Yeah, you're probably right, Dorsey. Can we get a ride with you to the airport?
Yeah, no problem.
So the big bucket loader and now these folks, okay, let's have the replay one more time.
Well, you know, that's set up and way back there. When you come out of turn 9, you get loose going into 10, and it brought him right into the grass. Now you see the truck flipping along the top of that concrete barrier, which is behind the tire wall, and into that fence, which keeps it from going into where your rental car is, I think.
We hope. Now, the folks that are replacing those tires are all volunteer workers. They're members of the Sports Car Club of America, and they man all the corner stations around the circuit here, providing assistance and radio communications to NASCAR in the tower. And their pay is getting an up-close look at the competition. And I know all of us amateur racers, well, we couldn't go racing without all these folks and their giving of their time. And they support the Pro Series events here as well. But they'll have that tire wall reconstructed pretty quickly. And you see the truck there in the upper left. If they can get it out of there, we'll be set to go back racing.
And having rebuilt a tire wall like that, I can tell you that is not a pleasant job, because there's little bitty critters that live in them things. And they're not happy when trucks get in there and mess up their little home.
They sit on the hillsides here and in the grandstands, but one thing's for certain, they love their road racing, and there's been a real smorgasbord of it here today. SCCA World Challenge, the Trans Am Series, which Dorsey drove to a wire-to-wire victory in his very bestest Ford Mustang today for Tom Gloy and the team. Also, Winston West was here. Doug George picking up the victory in that race as well. The NASCAR Series for semi-pro and amateur road racers kicked off the morning, and there was even a Formula car race here yesterday afternoon.
And Doug George won the race, but it looked like it was going to be Ron Hornaday's in that Winston West race. He had the field covered, broke a sway bar, and it finally cut the front tire down, and
yep, sway bar broke.
Yeah,
and his day was over. Let's go to the pits, Ralph.
Well, Mike, Ray Daniels' crew is down here waiting and hoping that their driver will be able to get back to them soon. Of course, they're done for the day, but we can update you on a couple of other drivers. George Tallis, the number 70, the Hot Wheels car, or truck, I should say, $1 for me. The Hot Wheels truck has lost a cylinder. They're pretty much done for the day as well. They leaned a couple out. Also, Kenny Allen pitted. The OnSat truck has lost its radio, so they were able to bring him in, change radios on that Craftsman SuperTruck as well.
Thanks, Ralph. Ralph, kind of lonely day down there, huh?
Yeah, it is a little bit, but that's okay. It's a beautiful day here at Sears Point. I've been coming to this racetrack for years, watching Dorsey Schrader and others go around this place. I think it's one of the nicest days for racing we've ever had here at the Point.
And one of the biggest crowds, aside from Winston Cup race, that they've ever had here. Immediately following our broadcast, stay tuned for Opry Backstage, followed by the Grand Ole Opry Live on TNN. You'll see all of your favorite country music entertainers, so stay with us here on the Nashville Network. Caution continues here at Sears Point as the rescue workers and the bucket loader goes to work out there past turn 10. We'll be right back.